Hey everybody, this is Bruce Bishop from ChronicleT.com. We're back once again with Matt Douglas and Tim Alcorn from AM 930 WEOL. How's it going, gentlemen?
It's going very well. How about with you, Matt?
Yeah, no complaints. Everything's moving along here as we're in the winter sports season in full swing now.
Yeah, I see everybody's played. Everybody's got some games going on. We have some winners, so why don't we do a little wrap-up on what we did last week?
Well, as we mentioned last week during our video, not everybody had gotten on the hardwood. We can't say that anymore. Everybody has at least one, two, some teams even have 3 games in as far as the boys' season is concerned. It certainly is that way on the girls' side. So, as Matt just said, it's good to see everybody out there playing games, everybody still trying to get the basketball conditioning going, especially the teams that have some football guys that are playing basketball. It takes them a while. I know last week on the Saturday morning wrap-up show, we talked to a couple of coaches about that if you had football guys that are now getting into that basketball mode, it takes them a couple of games. So the Avons, the Clearviews, the Elyria Catholics, those teams that had guys playing football that are now playing basketball, it may be the middle of the month, maybe even the end of the month of December before they really get into that full-blown basketball mode.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, a lot of those football teams in the area, especially you mentioned Elyria Catholic and Avon, had those late-going seasons. That's a blessing and a curse. You got to wait a little bit to get the basketball season really moving, but those guys are also in pretty good shape after playing those long football seasons. So they'll be anxious to get back out on the court. We saw some great returns for Elyria Catholic under head coach Rob Palmer. They got his first win for him and a great win over a Holy Name. So it's some exciting teams. Some of those returning back to the court. What I love about it, Tim, is we've got big games early on in the season. We had it with Elyria Catholic and Holy Name. We had it with Elyria and Solon over the weekend. So you got to love it if you're a high school basketball fan, man. It goes right into it right away.
Yeah, some fun games, some real competitive matchups early on. And even though we're early in the month of December, as we talked about on the radio station, Matt, these games count.
They do.
And they really get your momentum going as far as getting things started and getting things off to a real positive start.
Without a doubt. And I think earlier this year, too, Open Door played Columbia, 2 Division IV teams that'll probably meet in the postseason possibly. So there's a lot to look at the beginning of the season that plays a role in what will happen in the postseason.
No doubt.
Okay, so we had some of those big games. I'm sure we're going to mention a couple names right now. Let's talk about the Janasco Insurance Players of the Week.
This is going to be fun all year long. I thank Janasco Insurance for sponsoring this. It gives us an opportunity to really highlight some of the player performances, and there were some outstanding performances last week out on the floor. So since Matt got to start last week, I'll start this week. I'll stay on the boys' side of things. One of the teams that played their first game last week, Elyria Catholic, as you mentioned, Rob Palmer makes his debut as the head coach at Elyria Catholic, having served as an assistant coach for 23 years. Well, he finally makes his debut as a head coach, and it's a successful one. Big road win for Elyria Catholic as they went to Holy Name and knocked off the Green Wave 65-56. And the player of the game, as far as everybody was concerned, and our Janasco Insurance Player of the Week for that performance, Jared Logan of Elyria Catholic. He was simply sensational. 16 points, 20 rebounds, and 10 assists. So there's your triple-double. He also had 5 assists in the ball, or excuse me, 5 steals. 5 steals in the ball game. So 16, 20, 10, and 5 for Jared Logan in the season opener. That's just a huge performance, well deserving of the Janasco Insurance Player of the Week. What a great performance for Jared Logan of Elyria Catholic.
Without a doubt. Tough to beat something that close to a quadruple-double. Boy, it's been a while since we had the opportunity to talk about one of those. But congratulations, Jared Logan, and a well-deserved win by the Elyria Catholic Panthers. Tim, mine was a little tougher. I looked at the girls' side of things, and on Monday night, Wellington had a tremendous victory over Vermilion. They had Alexis Lemcool and Jalen Gibbs. Both scored 20-plus points in that game, and I thought, is there a way to give it to both? And then I said something special is going to have to beat that, and that's what we got out in Amherst. Cameron Ziak, who's going to Georgia State next year to play a little basketball. She's committed. She came away with 2 tremendous games over the weekend against Lakewood. She had 23 points and 5 3-pointers. She followed that up on Monday night against Keystone. 23 points, 7 3-pointers. She set a new school record.
Wow.
So when you follow up a game like the one before Lakewood with a game like that, setting a new school record at the 3-point line, you've done something special. And that's why Cameron Ziak out of Amherst is going to be my Janasco Insurance Player of the Week this week.
When you set a school record, I guess that's deserving
Yeah.
of the Janasco Insurance Player of the Week. What a fabulous performance by Cam.
Oh, without a doubt. And that's one where I think you're the opposing team. You just kind of sit back and think, man, there's not much we can do to stop somebody who's playing that well. And again, like I said, she had 5 3-pointers the game before against Lakewood. So just a tremendous effort over the weekend and into the next week by Cameron Ziak.
So congratulations, Cameron Ziak of Amherst, Jared Logan of Elyria Catholic, the girls and boys Janasco Insurance Players of the Week, respectively. Boy, 2 great performances there, Bruce.
Nice. Hey, speaking of great performances, there's one more name we have to throw into this conversation, which is Devon Grant. Got some good news, huh?
Great news for Devon Grant, and well-deserved. The young man from Lorain High, a real star for the Titan basketball team, has announced that he will be attending Miami of Ohio on a full basketball scholarship. And boy, you talk about a young man that not only is a great high school basketball player, but as John Rossitano has mentioned to us on WEOL, a fabulous student in the classroom, a real great citizen over at Lorain High. So this is well-deserved, and it's great news for the Titan basketball program because it represents the best of what those young men are doing over at Lorain High. And for Devon Grant, he really got things rolling during that Final Four run for Lorain High last year, really carried that team on his shoulders down to Columbus. Unfortunately, suffered that broken hand in the state semifinal against Cincinnati Moeller, or we could be talking about a state championship for Lorain High. But boy, he's come out of the gates this year with 2 outstanding performances, and now announcing that he's going to Miami of Ohio. So he'll be a Red Hawk. So congratulations, Devon Grant. Well-deserved. Great job.
My wife will be happy to hear as a Miami grad. I went to Kent State, but I will say this. I mean, those Miami programs down there, class acts, and they only recruit class acts as well. So, I mean, that speaks to Devon Grant and everything he's accomplished at Lorain and on the basketball court as well as off of it.
Yeah, you think of the tradition of excellence at Miami of Ohio. I mean, going back 30 years or so, Ron Harper, former Cleveland Cavalier and world champion with the Chicago Bulls. He was a Miami of Ohio guy. Chet Mason, one of the big stars at Miami of Ohio. So that's a basketball program in the Division I college level that has a great deal of history, a great deal of tradition, some real pedigree there. So, hey, Devon Grant, that's an outstanding choice.
Don't forget Wally Zerbiak.
You got to throw Wally in there. Absolutely. That's another great player, no doubt about it. So, Devon Grant, he's going to represent Lorain High very well.
Very good. You got your teeth into that story. That was nice. Hey, speaking of teeth, let's talk about our sponsor.
Yes, Dr. Karen Kramer, a huge thank you. How about that segue?
Yeah, right?
Impressive.
Wow, I have to give Bruce Bishop some credit on that one. Yes, Dr. Karen Kramer, we do appreciate her sponsoring each and every week in the paint. Glad we could talk some high school basketball each and every week during these weekly videos, and of course, they're not possible without Dr. Karen Kramer, so we appreciate it.
Yeah, great to have her on board. Really enjoy doing these. A lot of fun getting the names out there and everything with this weekly basketball video. So thank you very much.
See, Tim, that video production for dummies book you bought me is starting to pay off.
That was a great transition. Any whole march over at WEOL.
That's
Like
right.
that one.
All right, guys, so we're getting close to wrapping the show up today. So let's talk about what's coming up this weekend. And one of the games that we were talking about earlier is a good game for Open Door.
Yeah, we've got a busy weekend ahead right here on AM 930 WEOL. Friday night, we've got some boys high school basketball. Firelands will be over at Wellington. That's one of those Patriot Athletic Conference rivalry games. That's always a good one. And then Saturday afternoon, we're just going to keep the equipment at Wellington because we've got a girls basketball game on Saturday afternoon. Matt, you and I think this is going to be an outstanding matchup. Clearview and Wellington in girls basketball on Saturday.
Well, you just heard me talk about Alexis Lemcool and Jalen Gibbs, what they were able to accomplish against Vermilion. Obviously, they'll be hitting the court. Brooke Rebman, great feature article about her in the Chronicle Telegram last week. And she's really the heart and soul of that Clearview team. And you're talking about some mighty good players meeting up on the basketball court in that one. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a dandy.
And then Saturday night, we've got 2 boys basketball games. On the radio side, we've got Avon and Open Door. We'll talk a little bit more about that one in a moment. And then on Stream 2 on Saturday night, another boys basketball game. It will be the Keystone Wildcats at home entertaining Norwalk. So a busy day on Saturday with that girls game in the afternoon, and then the 2 boys games at night, Avon and Open Door, and Keystone and Norwalk. And Matt, we wanted to talk a little bit about Saturday night over at Open Door. This was a game that was originally scheduled for Tuesday, December 4th. Avon went so deep in the football playoffs and with so many football players on the basketball team, they moved the game to Saturday, December 15th, and we're going to do the game on the radio. We were originally scheduled to do it, but it's going to be a very, very special night over at Open Door High School. Number one, it should be a great basketball game between Avon and the Patriots, but the Open Door community has come together with the Avon community to make this a night to really bring notice to and bring some publicity to the battle against cancer. These 2 communities and these 2 schools have been affected, and so Saturday night will be about kind of bringing that into the forefront as much as there's going to be a great basketball game to be played. So we look forward to being a part of that.
Yeah, as you mentioned, it's going to be a great game. I mean, there's a lot of anticipation for what these 2 teams can do this season. And when the coaches and the administration realize that and realize they can do something special with a game like that, it just means a little bit more. So I'm excited to hear about that one when that one gets underway again over the weekend on Saturday night.
Yeah, that'll be Saturday night on WEOL. You know, we neglected to mention that on Saturday morning, the Saturday morning wrap-up show will be at the home of Avon Lake girls head basketball coach Dave Zavara, Green Lawn Avenue in Amherst. It's open to the public. They're talking about having folks tailgating out in the Zavara lawn before the show. Bring the car, bring the tent, bring the coolers, and then just traipse on through the house. Show starts at 9 o'clock on Saturday morning. You're gonna be there?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and get over there if I can. Of course, the head coach of the Avon Lake Shore Gals, Dave Zavara, I think it'd be a blast to see him and his wife waking up, open the windows, and there's everybody tailgating, ready to go for that show. But holiday tradition.
There you
can't
go.
have Christmas before you have the big Zavara show.
Yes, Green Lawn Avenue. It's in Amherst. Look for the WEOL van. You can't miss it. Party on.
All right. Before there are arrests and restraining orders, I'm getting out of here, so I have nothing to do with this. You guys, Tim Alcorn, take us home.
All righty. Well, of course, thanks to Bruce Bishop behind the camera. Always great job from Bruce. Matt Douglas, thanks to you. Biggest thanks goes to you, the viewers. We hope you enjoyed this edition of In the Paint, brought to you by Dr. Karen Kramer. And, of course, a great big thank you to our other sponsor, Janasco Insurance. We'll talk to you again next week. So long, everybody.